In our morning rounds, a story you'll see only on CBS this morning. A young mother of 3 is suing a New York hospital. She claims she was given a cesarean section against her will. The rate of C-sections deliveries in this country leveled off after climbing for more than a decade. But now nearly a third of babies are still delivered that way. The rate is double the number recommended by the World Health Organization. Dr. Holly Phillips sat down with a mother who says she did not have a choice. Holly, good morning.
Good morning, Gail. Despite the statistics showing overuse, there are many times when C-section deliveries are appropriate and life-saving. But the fundamental question this case raises is if doctors believe a C-section is the best option for a mother and baby, can a woman be given one against her will? And the answer is unequivocally no.
35-year-old Rinat Dre is the mother of 3 boys. Her first 2 were delivered by cesarean section, which involved difficult recoveries. So in 2011, she was determined to have Yosef naturally through a procedure called vaginal birth after cesarean, or VBAC. It carries risk, but often can be performed successfully. But after several hours of labor, Dre's doctor pushed back.
Then he said, it doesn't matter that you're in good progress. I don't think it's going to be natural. I don't have the whole day for you.
Dre says she felt her doctor was being impatient as he continued to pressure her to have a C-section right away, warning her her uterus would rupture and her baby was at risk.
And they pushed me into the operation. I was begging all the way, don't do it. I feel my baby, everything is fine, don't do it, don't do it. His answer was just, don't speak.
Ultimately, when you went into your C-section, had you given consent?
No, I never did.
Dre is suing the hospital and doctors, claiming negligence, malpractice, and lack of informed consent.
It's in its earliest stages.
Michael Bast is Dre's attorney. He provided the doctor's handwritten note from her medical file spelling out his concerns. The fetus is at risk for serious harm without the C-section, and for the mother, benefits outweigh risk. Senior hospital staff signed off on the C-section. Dre's attorney says the smoking gun for her case is also in the notes.
I have decided to override her refusal to have a C-section. The mother has the right. It is ethically wrong. It is medically wrong. It is always wrong to take a knife and stick it into a woman when she says no.
Staten Island University Hospital says it does not comment on pending litigation, but supports a mother's decision to have a vaginal birth after C-section and has an overall C-section rate of 22%, well below the state average. Still, experts say hospitals may lack legal and ethical footing in circumstances like these, even when acting in the best interest of the mother and baby. Art Kaplan is a bioethicist at NYU Langone Medical Center.
The doctor can cajole, persuade, argue, do everything in their power to get the woman to change her mind, but they should not ever do a procedure, even with the fetus in trouble, against the will of the mother.
Rinat Dre says she would like to grow her family of 3 boys, but she says giving birth scares her now.
It was very painful to be treated this way.
Dre also says her bladder was harmed in the C-section delivery, and she's seeking unspecified damages.
Very complicated case on both sides. I was struck by the lawyer who said you cannot stick a knife in a woman if she says no. What's the doctor to do, though, when he feels that something is dangerous?
Right. Well, you know, in Rinat's case, again, we haven't heard from the hospital. I really appreciated her sharing her story with us. So we don't know what the doctors actually thought at that time. Regardless, a doctor can talk about risks. A doctor could say, I believe you're in harm's way. I believe the baby's in harm's way. I believe a C-section is the right thing to do. But ultimately, the mother has the choice to consent to the surgery or not.
And she didn't want it in this case.
Absolutely.
And she made it clear, it sounds like.
Yeah. So it's a very, very interesting case, and it just really raises so many ideas about women's rights in the operating room and in delivery.
Thank you. Dr. Holly Phillips.